على الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار. يا أبا عبد الله لقد أزمت الرزية وجلت وعظمت المصيبة بك علينا وعلى جميع الإسلام وجلت وعظمت مصيبتك بالسماوات على جميع السماوات. ولعن اللهم تنسست أساس الظلم والجور عليكم على البيت. لعن اللهم تندفتكم عن مقامكم وأزالتكم عن مراتبكم التي رتبكم الله فيها. ولعن اللهم تنقتلتكم. ولعن الله المعينين لهم بالتمكين من قتالكم. برئت إلى الله وإليكم منهم ومن الشايب والصائب وأوليائهم يا أبا عبد الله. إني سلم لمن صالمكم وحرب لمن حاربكم إلى يوم القيامة. ولعن الله لزياد وعلى مرهون. ولعن الله بني أمية قاتلا. ولعن الله مجونا. ولعن الله لبن سعد. ولعن الله شمرا. ولعن الله أمة سجد وأنجمت وتنقمت بغسالك فأبي أنت وأمي لقد أزم مصابيبك. فأسأل الله الذي أكرم مقامك وأكرمني بك أن يرزقني تلو طارق مع إمام منصور من أهل بيت محمد صلى الله عليه وآله. اللهم اجعلني عندك وجيها بالحسن عليه السلام في الدنيا والآخرة. يا أبا عبد الله إني أتقرب إلى الله وإلى رسوله وإلى أمير المؤمنين وإلى فاطمة وإلى الحسن وإليك بموالاتك فبالبراءة ممن أسس أساس ذلك وبنى عليه بنيانا وجرى في ظلمه وجوره. عليكم وعلى أشيائكم برئت إلى الله وإليكم منه وأتقرب إلى الله. ثم إليكم موالاتكم وولاة وليكم وبالبراءة من أعدائكم والناصرين لكم الحرب وبالبراءة من أشياء وأتباعهم. إني سلم لمن صالمكم وحرب لمن حاربكم وولي لمن والاكم وعدو لمن عاداكم. أسأل الله الذي يكرمني معرفتكم ومعرفة أوليائكم ورزقني البراءة من أعدائكم أن يجعلني معكم في الدنيا والآخرة وأن يثبت لي أنكم قدم صدق في الدنيا والآخرة. وأسأل أن يبلغ المقام المحمود. وأسأل أن يبلغ المقام المحمود لكم عند الله ويرزقني تلقائي مع إمام هدى ظاهر ناطق بالحق منكم. وأسأل الله بحقكم بشأن الذي لكم عنده أن يؤتيني بمصابيبكم أفضل ما يؤتي مصابا ومصيبته مصيبة وعزم وعزم رزيته في الإسلام وفي جميع السماوات والأرض. اللهم اجعلني في مقامي وضع من تنال منك صلوات ورحمة ومغفرة. اللهم اجعل محياي محيا محمد وآل محمد ومماتي ممات محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إن هذا يوم تبركت به بنو أمية والراكبة الأكباد الليل بالليل على لسانك ولسان نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله في كل موطن ما قبل وغل في نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله. اللهم لعن سفيان معاوية يزيد بن معاوية عليهم منك اللعنة أبد الآبدين. وهذا يوم الفرج ديار زياد وآل مروان بقتل حسين صلوات الله عليه. اللهم فضائف عليهم اللعنة منك والعذاب الأليم. اللهم إني أتقرب إليك بهذا اليوم بما هو بهذا فأيما يأتي بالبراءة منه واللعنة عليهم وبموالاة نبيك والنبيك عليه وعليه السلام. اللهم من ربنا ظالم ظلم حق محمد وآل محمد وآخرة له على ذلك. اللهم للنسوة التي جعلت الحسين وشايد وبايد وساوت على غسله اللهم انهم جميعا. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. اللهم خص أنت أول ظالم بالله مني وابتغي أولا ثم عن الثاني والثالث والرابع. اللهم يزيد خامسا ولا وتضاد زيادة وزوجان دورا مساد الشمرا وعلى أبي سفيان وعلى زياد وعلى مروان إلى يوم القيامة. كتبك نبكي سيجيكم كان وش دست شمزة وتشمشون يزكنا. اللهم لك الحمد حمد الشاكرين لك على مصابين. الحمد لله العظيم الأزيتي. اللهم ارزقني شفاعة الحسين يوم الورود، وقدر لي غناصة منك مع الحسين وأصحاب الحسين الذين بذلوا ما جنبنا الحسين عليه السلام برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطاهرين. صلوات.
السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. As per the program for the Ziyara, Quran will be recited by Brother Yusuf Khan. Brother Yusuf, are you ready? Brother Yusuf Khan will recite the Quran, and after that, Fatima, we know, she will talk about the day of Ashura and the month of Muharram. And after that, little Hajj, as Sheikh calls her, Fatima Shahdan will deliver, will recite the Ashura. And after that, we will have Brother Shahriar Khan to recite about Siyah. Allah salawat for everyone of you present there and recite. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والفجر وليال عشر والشفع والوتر والليل إذا يسر هل في ذلك قسم الذي يسر ألم تر كيف فعل ربك إرم ذات الإماد التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد الذين وفرعون بالأوتاد الذين طغوا مثلها في البلاد فيها الفساد فصبح عليهم ربك سوط عذاب ربك لبالمرصاد فأما إذا إنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فيقول ربي أكرمن وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فله في أمانة كلا إذا دكت الأرض يتيم يهابون على طعام المسكين
صدق الله العظيم. صدق الله. Very good, mashallah. Very good.
Assalamu alaikum, my respected scholars, elders, and my fellow friends. Tonight my speech is about Hazrat Ali Asghar alayhi salam. Why did they kill Ali Asghar alayhi salam in Karbala? Ali Asghar was only 6 months old in Karbala son of Husain alayhi salam, Imam Husain alayhi salam, and the God. On the day of Ashura, it was very hot and there was no water for the family of the Imam alayhi salam for 3 days. His mother could not feed him either, as there was no milk. When the Imam alayhi salam called out, "Is there anyone to help me?" there was a loud crying from the lady. The Imam alayhi salam came into the tent. As Husain said, "Oh my brother Husain, since Asghar heard your call, he has not stopped crying." The Imam alayhi salam said, "Bring him to me. I will take him and see if he can get some water." Bob brought the baby Ali Asghar alayhi salam from his crib and kissed him goodbye. Imam Husain alayhi salam took the baby in his arms and going to the army of Yazid said, "See how thirsty my Asghar is? His lips are dry and can hardly open his eyes. He has done no harm to anyone. Give him some water." Hearing this, some of the soldiers started to cry, but Umar Saad said to Harmala, "Stop Husain's words." Harmala aimed an arrow at the baby's neck. The arrow hit its mark and the baby was killed in the arms of his loving father, Imam Husain alayhi salam. The Imam alayhi salam kissed the baby, then took a step forward and then went backwards. He did this again and again, 7 times, saying, "Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un." From Allah we come and to Allah we return. He buried the baby with his own hands in the hot sand. Now I will recite a poem in Farsi for you. Cheesy Paycon. Ey Sheikh, as in all nafasir bebu, as zuhre yahu, ufti taqdir bebu, as hall Ali Asghar, agar pursidan, as cheesy Paycon, saratir bebu. Thank you for listening to my speech. That Muhammad or Muhammad said.
Excellent, very good.
MashaAllah.
Fatima Dino is one of the best students that we have. We got 4 Fatimas, all 4 of them dynamic, mashallah. Mashallah. And she, in that little age, she fasted all the 30 days of this holy month of Ramadan. Bismillah. This is Fatima Shabna, again one of the wonderful students, and she recites Ziyarat Ashura while asleep and awake. To common information, Ziyarat Ashura. Alon Bidarian. Cool?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya ibn Rasulillah. Assalamu alayka ya ibn Amir al-Mu'minin wa ibn Sayyid al-Wasin. Assalamu alayka ya ibn Fatimah Sayyidat نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا نور الله وابن داره والوتر الموجود. السلام عليك وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليكم جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار. لا يا عبد يا ولعن الله الممثلين لهم بالتمكين من قتالكم فرحت إلى الله وإليكم منهم ومن أشياعهم وأتباعهم وأولادهم يا أبا عبد الله يا أبا عبد الله يا أبا عبد الله يا أبا عبد الله.
Thank you. Very good. Salawat.
صل على محمد وآل محمد ما شاء الله ما شاء الله.
يا سلامتي شنو سلامات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
سلامات خدا شادی. ملت گذشتگان و اکثر گذشتگان اینجا رفتن. بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. یک کمی که میکنم برای بنا ای دل نوا دارد رقیه بنا ای دل نوا دارد رقیه به هر دردی دوا دارد رقیه من از او را ز پا انداخت اما مریضان را شفا دارد رقیه 3 ساله کودک و این اوج عزت مدال مرحبا دارد رقیه بیا یا فاطمه اندر خرابه عزای بیریا دارد رقیه به دور از دیده بیگانه امشب سخن با آشنا دارد رقیه به دست ساربان و زجر و خوبی به بابا شکوها دارد رقیه به خونین چهره می بوسد و می گفت هر بی انتها دارد رقیه بیا ای یار پیشانی شکسته که با مهمان صفا دارد رقیه چه با جا آمدی ای جان جانان چه با جا آمدی ای جان جانان ببین جا در کجا دارد رقیه از آن روزی که افتادی به مقتل دل پر ماجرا دارد رقیه دلم در قتلگاه و جسمم اینجاست وطن در کربلا دارد رقیه ببینم از چه لبهایت کبود است ببینم از چه لبهایت کبود بگو محشر پایارم رقیه پدر در چهرم دیدم نظر کن رخ زهرا نما دارد رقیه به جرم عاشقی جان بر لب آمد شکایت ناشقیا دارد رقیه خدا خواهد اگر میمیرم امشب که هر شب این دعا دارد رقیه سلام
بسیار برحال جناب مسلم جناب علیه السلام وطن سے چھٹ کے کوئی خستہ جاں شہید نہ ہو، کوئی مسافر بے خانے ماں شہید نہ ہو، کسی کے گھر پہ کوئی مہمان شہید نہ ہو، شہید ہو تو وہ تشنا نہاں شہید نہ ہو، سفر میں موت کا آنا بڑی مصیبت ہے، جو لاش دفن نہ ہو اور بھی قیامت ہے، ہوا یہ ظلم زمانے میں دو غریبوں پر، وہ ایک بے قصور مضطر ہے، فاطمہ کا پسر اور ایک مسلم بے پر غریب و خستہ جگر، کوئی نہ ان کا معین تھا، نہ آپ کا یاور، خلق یہ تھا کہ شاہ مشرقین بھی بچھڑے، پرائے دیس میں دو نور عین بھی بچھڑے، مقیم خانہ خانی تھے، مسلم پور غم انہیں بھی قتل کیا ظالموں نے، اے ہائے ستم، یہ انقلاب یہ دورانگی یہ عالم، ہما کی فکر میں در در پھرے سفیر حرم، بڑی جو پیاس بہت تھر تھر آپ کے بیٹھ گئے، قریب شب در تو آ کے بیٹھ گئے، مکان سے نکلی جو تو بولی گھبرا
किस लिए दर पर दबिया ज़बां से कहा एक गरीब हूँ आहर पिला दे आप मुझे बेरे साकिए कौसर ये सुन के नजरे इमाम नाम ले आई महल में जाके वो पानी का जाम ले वतन से छुट के
Thank you everyone, especially. Thank you everyone, especially the youth who have contributed and been contributing every day and been on time. And may Allah give you the ajr and tawfiq to enhance your ranks in this dunya and akhirah. And you are the future. So our hats, we take off our hats to you. Thank you so very much. And now I request Sheikh Shirazi to educate us on today's events of Karbala. A salawat for all of you present and all of those who have recited so far.
السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأنجبين بهم نتولى ومن أعدائهم نتبرأ إلى الله. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توغا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وعجل فرجه. We ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to make this majlis a majlis of ma'rifah, of learning, of insight that remains an asset for us in our graves, in our barzakh and our qiyamah, inshallah. Returning to some of the ahkam that we started from yesterday. Now, sometimes when you are performing wuzu, there is a wound on the face, or sometimes there is a wound on your hand. In such case, what do you do? How do you perform the wuzu? You cannot straightly opt out and perform tayammum. The ruling of all of the fuqaha, the mujtahideen who you follow is that washing around that wound will be sufficient. So you perform your wuzu as normal, then the water that is on your face, you just apply it all around that wound. That is your wuzu. The other way is that you cover the wound with a bandage with a tape, something that is clean, and you perform your wuzu as normal over the wound and over the bandage. This is called wuzu jabira. Jabira means when there is a wound, that is how you perform the tayammum, the wuzu. Now sometimes there is a wound which is on the entire face. When the wound is on the entire face, what do? Here jabira is required and tayammum also is not necessary, meaning that you just cover the wound with the plastic, with the bandage that is clean, and you perform your wuzu over the wound. Now, if you've done your wuzu on the wound with the jabira, it is mustahab that you top it up with a tayammum. Tayammum also is mustahab, not wajib when you are doing it. If you go sightseeing somewhere and it's time for salat, what do? And there is a river, and the river belongs to someone. The owner, he doesn't allow you to perform wuzu in that water. According to the ruling of Imam Khomeini, Ayatollah Khamenei, you cannot perform wuzu there. If the owner of that river doesn't allow you, you cannot perform wuzu. Ayatollah Sistani is of the opinion that wuzu is correct if you do perform wuzu with that water which belongs to a river, not his personal property, river which is in his land, for example. If he doesn't allow, your wuzu is correct. According to Imam Khomeini and Ayatollah Khamenei, it is not correct. You cannot perform your wuzu there. Now, if you are helping someone who is aged and he needs help, first of all, in wuzu, you have to perform the wudu all by yourself. Niyat also will be yours, intention will be yours, and you will do the wuzu. But sometimes you are helping someone who is old. In that case also, first priority is that person, he should be able to pour the water himself. If he is not able to pour the water himself, then you pour the water for him, and then he will take the water and perform his wuzu. Sometimes that is also not possible. That is, you can even if you pour water for him, you need to hold his hand and take it onto his face and his hands to perform wuzu. In such case, what is the niyat? The niyat of the wudu will be done by the person who is ill and old or by you. Over here, the ruling is that both of you will have to do the niyat of the wudu of that person who you are helping to perform and say his prayer. Now, in the Quran, there are 4 surahs that have a wajib sajda. Out of 114 surahs, 4 surahs have a wajib sajda, meaning that these surahs, when you come to that ayah of sajda, you have to bow down in sajda. If you can perform a full sajda, you perform that full sajda, and if you cannot, then you just, with an ishara, you perform the sajda. In the sajda also, you don't need to recite anything. If you know the dua, La ilaha illallah haqqan haqqa, La ilaha illallah imanan wa tasdiqa until the end, that is mustahab to recite. If you don't know that, just go in sajda and recite a salawat, that is also sufficient. Or just any zikr also will suffice. If you cannot do that as well, just that sajda. If you are driving and someone recited the ayah sajda, there with an ishara, you just perform that sajda, and that is also sufficient. So when you get time, then you can perform the full sajda. Now these 4 surahs that have a wajib sajda, Surah Fussilat, Sajda, and Alaq, and Najm, these 4 surahs. Now the ruling of the ulama over here, it differs. You cannot recite these 4 surahs in your prayers. It is haram. Reciting surahs that have a wajib sajda in your namaz is not allowed. Now, in the state of janabat also, these surahs are forbidden to be recited according to some. Imam Khomeini and Ayatollah Khoi and other ulama of that batch, they are of the opinion that reciting the entire surah, even the Bismillah, on someone who is mujnib, who is junub, it is haram. Or ladies in their days, they cannot recite any part of that surah uh, according to this opinion. The second opinion, which is of Ayatollah Rosma Sistani and Imam Khamenei, they are of the opinion that it's only that very ayah which has the wajib sajda you are forbidden to recite. So you can recite the entire surah, only that ayah which has that sajda that you cannot recite, according to the second opinion. So, first opinion, entire surah, even the Bismillah, cannot be recited in the state of janaba. Now, these were some of the ahkam regarding. Now, the topic is knowing Islam made easy. Yesterday, we talked about the existence of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, and today we'll talk about His might. Might means qudrat. In the existence of Allah Jalla wa Ala, now when you recite these du'as, for example, Dua Joshan Kabir, it has 1001 names of Allah. Or for example, the 99 names that are famous, these are all the sifat and the names of the Almighty. In riwayat, we have as many as 4,000 names that have been reported for the Almighty Allah Jalla wa Ala. Out of these names of His, there are three names, there are three qualities or sifat, you can say. One is ilm, knowledge. The second is qudrat, might, power. And the third is hayat, life. When I say Allah, means He is that qadir, that mighty. When I say Allah, it means He is that Hayy, that is living. And when I say Allah, it means that Alim, He knows everything. So these three sifat are there in Allah as part and parcel of His existence. These three sifat, Hayat, Qudrat, and Ilm, in me, it is not part of my existence. I was born, I did not have any qudrat, any might. Slowly I grew, and then that might also was given to me. I did not know. I learned, and now I know. I did not have life. Life was given to me, and I'm living. And these three sifat, they can be taken away from me at any point. May that be this ability to talk. Anything happens, I'm gone. I can't speak. If I die, nothing remains. Or maybe something happens, I forget, ilm is also gone. So for me, these three qualities, they are a top up to my existence as a human being. For the existence of Allah, all three qualities are the essential qualities and are part of His existence. So you cannot separate Allah from ilm. You cannot separate Allah from His might. You cannot separate Allah from His knowledge. So when you say Alim, it means Allah. When you say Qadir, it means Allah. When you say Hayy, living, it means Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Now this creation at large, it is a sign of Allah's power, Allah's might. You see the mountains, the plains, the earth, the sun, the moon, everything that you see, all of that, it is a reflection of the might of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Now, among the creation of the Almighty Allah, we have the most magnificent of His creation. It is the human being, mankind. Mankind. Inna khalaqna al-insana fi ahsani taqweem. We created man in the best form. Now here they come up and say that man was a monkey once upon a time, and now he is a human being. Then he used to climb up the trees on date palms and pick coconuts there, but now he flies in an aeroplane. It's the same monkey that climbed the trees then, it is now flying on the planes now. This is how they have degraded man, the human being, where Allah says, Inna khalaqna al-insana fi ahsani taqweem. that we have created human being in the best form, in the best way. Now, in this human being, you see that he sees with these two eyes. These eyes, they are just a lump of fat. Here's with ears. Ears are small. Or for example, when you see the tongue that talks, it's just a lump of flesh. Who did it? How did he do it? So the creator, the maker of this human being has to be alim, alim, knows what he is doing, has that might and power that he made human being in such a magnificent form. Now, many man-made structures, we have this in this world. We see that human being, they have made something, but after a certain time, it's outdated, it's gone. Then everyone forgets it. It's there for a period of time. But this human being that Allah has created millions of years ago, until now, he is the best of the creation of the Almighty Allah. Now, man, Allah created him with clay. We can make a few things with clay, some bricks, some ceramics, some other stuff, some construction material. Allah, he made human being with this clay, and it's such a magnificent form. That is that might of the Almighty Allah, Tabarak wa Ta'ala. Now, when we look into this creation where he says that Inna khalaqna al-insana fi ahsani taqweem, we created mankind in the best of forms. One of the beauties that mankind has, it are these fingerprints that we have on our fingers. There is no second person with the same print. There are billions of people who were created. There is no second one who has that same print. Or for example, when you look into the water that we have, or the garden, for example, if you've got a plot of land and there you've got that same earth, same dirt, you plant some seeds over there, some seeds of tomatoes, some potatoes, some dates, some all different kinds of vegetables. It's that same dirt, same land, same water that you will irrigate, and then you'll get fruit, sweet, sour, bitter, every kind, and from that same clay, that is Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, it is his might. And when you look into Quran, that ayah says that وَفِي الْأَرْضِ قِطَعٌ مُتَجَاوِزَاتٌ وَجَنَّاتٌ مِّنْ أَعْنَابٍ وَزَرْعٌ وَنَخِيلٌ سِنْوَانٌ وَغَيْرُ سِنْوَانٌ. Says that in the earth, in all these plots and terrains, you will find that there are vineyards, there are farms, there are palms, and all of them, the roots, they benefit from that same dirt and clay, same water, but the produce, it's all different. That is that might of the Almighty Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. No one else does that. No one else can do that. Now, when we look into these fruit and vegetables, for example, some people, they just want to fill their bellies with all these fruit and vegetables. Some people who have that ma'rifah and insight, they look into it. Now, one of the things that we need to control, especially our children, is when you are on the table having meals, put these devices away. Quran says, فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ إِلَىٰ طَعَامِهِ. That is, فَلْيَنْظُرْ means you look at. Insan is insan. So insan should look at his food. Look at his food what? Why? That how this has come to you. Has created it. How magnificent is the creator who has provided this food. Now we don't focus on that. We just look into these devices all the time, and what we have eaten, we don't know. Where it has come from, we don't know. Nothing. Nowadays, we don't even feel the taste because the taste buds are in these displays. So here, فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ إِلَىٰ طَعَامِهِ, that you look at it and then you see who the creator is and what and how magnificent he has created everything. Now, for example, pain and diseases that we have nowadays, there are so many people who are afflicted with this man-made disease and disaster. May Allah cure them, grant shafa to every one of them, and all those who were hit and who have passed away. May Allah forgive them and grant the highest of ranks and stations in the Akhirah. And those who created it, Allah removed them from the surface of this earth, inshallah. Now, pains and diseases also are like that. It isn't as such that pains, they are bad. No, He is that Hakim, that wise God. He knows what is best for me. Sometimes I need to be afflicted with some kind of a pain. I have to reset myself, to reboot myself. For that reason, He afflicts some kind of a pain on me. Sometimes I have to be well off. In either case, He is Hakim. He knows what I need. Hadith, there is a Hadith Qudsi says that Antum kal marada wa rabbul alameen kal tabib. All of you are like patients, and the Lord of the universe, He is the physician, the doctor. So when you go to your doctor, whatever prescription he writes, you take it blindly and you accept and you apply that on yourself. It says that with the existence of Allah, treat Him like you treat your doctor. How you take His prescription blindly and you act upon that. With the doctor, with the Almighty Allah, we have to have a similar relationship. Now, when a person is ill, if everyone was well off, no one would care for another person. The moment we see in the community, in the family, someone falls, someone has a mishap, someone suffers, someone is in pain, we go to him, we sympathize with him, we start to help him, we treat him, we care for him. So that is that benefit which the Creator knows that He has to suffer that person, as a result of which the sympathy is there. Also, when you find that many a times these strong people also, they fell. They also go through a tough time. Why is that? Maybe that person was about to be afflicted with Qibla and pride, and Allah did not want that to happen. To break his pride, He afflicts him with some kind of a pain. And there the Almighty, that is, He is Hakim, that is how He does. Or for example, there is another Hadith Qudsi. There says that you are offering your prayers dot on time. All of a sudden you see that you miss one of your prayers. Hadith says that Allah did not wake you up. He put you to sleep. The reason for that is He did not want me to fall into these traps of kibr and ghurur, that I am the person who offers prayers all the time, dot on time. He did not want that to be in me. For that reason, He puts me to sleep. Now that I wake up, start from scratch all over again, like everyone else. So that is that Hakim, the Almighty Creator, who has got that might. So the Almighty, He has got that power and He has got that might. He has got all the abilities and He is Hakim. Hakim means wisdom. Hikmat means wisdom. Hakim means wise. So the Almighty, He is wise. Now, what should be our relationship with the Almighty be? How should that relationship be? The first duty after knowing God is to have a relationship with God, to love Him for all the blessings that He has bestowed upon us. If someone gives you a gift, you remember him all the time. As long as you remember him, he is in your mind, in your thoughts, that this person, he gave me a gift. And Allah the Almighty, He has bestowed numerous gifts and numerous hadaya upon the humanity. So there we need to thank Him. Just like you thank someone who gives you, who helps you, who gives something to you, just like that, we have to thank the Almighty Allah for these numerous gifts that He has given to us. One of the blessings are these eyes, as it was mentioned, made from fat. And these eyes, they can see, and they have a lifetime camera that is given to you from the day you are born until the day we die. These eyes are with us. Unlike the other devices that need to be charged every now and then, you need to change the memory, increase the memory, etc. This eye, it doesn't need to charge. It doesn't need any backup memory. It's unlimited memory that it has, It takes pictures in the day, in the night, in the dark, as tiny things it sees. All that is the blessing that Allah Ta'ala He has given to us. So in every blessing of the blessings of the Almighty, we should thank Him a little, and our interest in the Creator also it increases. Because He gave all of that to us out of love, we also have to thank Him with love, with mahabbat. Now, another relationship that we can have with the merciful God is that we thank Him. How do we thank Him? There are different ways to thank Him. Sometimes we just say Shukran Lillah in words. And the best way to thank the Almighty Allah is in the form of salat, in the form of prayers. That is that format that He has given to us. And then with that format, we also thank Him. Now for these blessings that He has given to us, for example, the eye that we talked about today, how do we thank Him? We care for the eyes, look after them, don't destroy them, don't ruin them, don't put dirty water on them, don't study with a full belly, that is also makruh. The first effect is going to be on the eyes. Don't damage the eyes by reading in a place where there is not enough light, or for example, by not sinning with these eyes, because eyes, they are an amana given to us. So if we destroy them, damage them spiritually or physically, we are responsible for this, for what we have damaged, and that liability over there applies. Now, with these eyes, there are certain tasks that we can do. Says that a loving look at your parents with these eyes, it is worship. So you look at your father, you look at your mother, that look of yours will be an ibadah. Or for example, another ila Amir al-Mu'mineen, ibadah. You look at Amir al-Mu'mineen, it is worship. Look at the shrine of Amir al-Mu'mineen, it is worship. Eyes, they have a right. Imam Rida alayhi salam says, "An-nazaru ila al-mushaf," ibadah, is that right of the eye. That is you looking at the Quran. It is the right of the eye that is given to the eye. And if you don't recite Quran, means you've usurped the right of the eye from the eye. So we are a ghasib. That right of the eye was not given to the eye. So that is why that emphasis is that recite from Quran, look at the words and ayat of Quran, which is all an ibadah. Looking at an alim is ibadah. Looking at father is ibadah. Visiting the good servants of Allah is worship. And likewise, if someone has passed away, you remember him by his grave, that is also a worship. See how beautiful this deen is, with this little eye that He has given as a gift, as a bestowal to mankind. So much productivity is there only from the eyes. All other blessings, countless. And how much of a benefit is there, that is also huge. Now, one of the ways how we can thank the Almighty Allah is by saying Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Say that as much as you can. And then when we look into Quran, for example, in Surah Al-Quraysh, there is another way. How do you thank Him? It says, فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ الَّذِي أَطْعَمَهُمْ مِنْ جُوعٍ وَآمَنَهُمْ مِنْ خَوْفٍ. So how do you thank Him? فَلْيَعْبُدُوا. That you have to worship Him. That is, they have to worship Him who فَلْيَعْبُدُوا هَذَا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ, the Lord of the house, that is the Lord of Kaaba. So you worship the Lord of the Kaaba who feeds you, who provides to you when you are hungry, and He is the one who protects you when you are in fear. فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ الَّذِي أَطْعَمَهُم مِّن جُوعٍ وَآمَنَهُم مِّن خَوْفٍ. So all these beautiful teachings we have in Islam, that when it comes to worship and thanking the Almighty Allah, the best way to thank Him is in the form of prayer. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam says لا خير في دين لا ركوع فيه ولا سجود. Says there is no good in a religion wherein there is no ruku and wherein there is no sajda. Now, during the time of Rasulullah, when there were all these sanctions on the Muslims and they were in the Shi'b Abi Talib for 3 years, here they were in need of help. No one was buying anything from the Muslims, no one selling anything to the Muslims. Muslims were suffering badly. And also it was in those days that Hazrat Abu Talib and Khadija alayhim assalam, they passed away. A delegation comes from Ta'if. Ta'if is one of the superpowers of that time. Ta'if, the delegation comes to Rasulullah and says that we will help you, we will support you, we will defend you, we will provide everything with an open hand. Only one condition we have. Says you don't invite us towards ruku and sajda. That's it, nothing else. We are there to help you. Muslims who were with Rasulullah, they were happy that maybe this is something that has been sent to us to help us, to bail us out in this problem. And they were waiting for Rasulullah to accept. All of a sudden, Rasulullah says, La khayra fi dinin, la ruku'a fihi wa la sujud. There is no good in a religion where there is no ruku and no sajda. So he said no to them. So over there also, it was Rasulullah who said, no, now there are these rules that we have when it comes to personal levels or when it comes to communal levels. The rule of Allah, tabarak wa ta'ala, it does not change. Whatever is haram, it's haram forever. Whatever is halal forever. May that be on a personal level for me or on a community level, like this example that was given by Rasulullah. Now, to understand this, if there was nothing to eat, the only food that I had was haram, was a najis sandwich, for example, a haram sandwich. So with this mindset, shaitan comes and attacks, says that you are hungry, you can't kill yourself, you can't harm yourself, you can't hurt yourself, so eat that sandwich, because otherwise you're going to harm yourself. But the reality is, it is over here that Allah is testing us, that what do? Do we eat or do we not eat? If we eat and then go against that haram, that there are some bestowals that are hidden behind the scenes that will not get to us. Prophet Yusuf, Ibn Sirin, many of these prophets and many of the noble who got to whatever level was because of this haram they did not commit, they did not do. Sometimes there is a lie that we need to say to get to something. So if we lie, yeah, we will get away. As little as someone calls and there is a fake negative answer that we want to give. That is also not permitted. That haram remains haram at all times. That sandwich also remains haram at all times. And that is what Quran says, مَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. That it is in these tests and trials, in these dead ends, that Allah, He tests us. That how do we deal? How do we retaliate? And in such cases, if we stick by the program and the command of Allah, we are the ones who will be safe. So how do we thank the merciful God who is Alim and who is all wise, who has bestowed everything upon us? Different ways. One of them was Shukran Lillah, the other was Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Surah Al-Quraysh says, فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ الَّذِي أَطْعَمَهُم مِّن جُوعٍ وَآمَنَهُم مِّن خَوْفٍ. You worship Him. How do you worship Him? It's the form of that salat. Quran says, وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ. You get help when you are in problems from prayers. You get help from fasting when you are hit with some kind of a problem. This is something that we learn from the Ahlul Bayt. In all problems, it was salat. Rasulullah, Amirul Mu'mineen, and when Imam Mujtaba and Abu Abdullah and Husain were ill, they vowed that we will fast for 3 days for the well-being of the children. So, Vastainu means get help. Bis sabri means from patience. Was salat means prayers. Sabr also means fast, and it is the prayers. On the third night of the sacred month of Muharram, in Iran, the Shahadat of Hazrat Ruqayya bintul Husain is recited. And this is that toddler of Abu Abdullah Husain, 3 years of age. And when she was born, her mother had passed away. And it was Imam Husain alayhi salam who was the mother and the father. He had the two roles for this young child of his. She slept with Abu Abdullah and Husain. He took care of her all the time. She recognized the fragrance of her father. Now this Ruqayya, salamullahi alayha, she resembles her grandmother, Hazrat Fatima, the most. And people, the Ahlul Bayt, when they were reminded of Hazrat Zahra, they used to look at her. Now this toddler of Abu Abdullah and Husain, her fate and her shahadat also was like the grandmother. Now in the ruins of Sham, when the caravan was brought there, and everyone was tied in those ropes and in those chains, and the ruins, the prisons also were such that Maqatil, the historians, they write that in the extreme weathers of Sham, it is hot and hot during the day and extreme cold during the night. And the prison also doesn't have a roof there. And in those extreme weathers, the skin of this toddler of Abu Abdullah has blisters on it. Now she's 3 years old, and then she was crying a lot. Yazid's palace, La'natullah alayh, is just next to the ruins, next to the prisons. He says, what is this cry? Says it is Ruqayya, the daughter of Abu Abdullah. She is crying. She's crying for her father. They say that, okay, go take this father to the baby, to the child. So they bring the tash, the vessel in which the pure head of Abu Abdullah was placed, and they placed it in the laps of this young toddler of Abu Abdullah. She sees the head and says, Abata, man alladhi qata'a waridak? Father, who severed the veins of your neck? Says, Abata, man alladhi aytamani ala sighar sinni? Father, who is going to look after me in this young age of mine, and I'm orphaned in this age. Says here she sighed, and after that sigh she passed away in those ruins. Imam Sajjad asks the Ghassala to wash the body. So it was the clothes that she was wearing were the shroud of that child. She was shrouded with the same clothes, and then all of a sudden this Ghassala, the lady washing Ruqayya, she cried out loud, says, was this girl afflicted with some kind of a skin disease? What are all these blisters on her body, on her skin? And that is that the blisters were the lashes, those mala'in, they had hit her. And that skin, it was damaged in the extreme weathers. And also when the tents had burnt down, the clothes of this Ruqayya bintul Husain, they were all burnt as a result of that torment that she went through. Now these days that we are in, they are related to the Ahlul Bayt. Here they say that when this Ghassala was washing the body of Hazrat Ruqayya, she says that she sees that the arm of this infant, this child, is also fractured. The ribs of this child, they are crushed just like the ribs of her grandmother. So in her looks, in her features, she resembles the grandmother, and in the way she passed away from this dunya also, she resembles the grandmother. On the first day of this Muharram, du'as they are granted. On the third day of Muharram, Prophet Yusuf, he was taken out of the well. On the 5th day of Muharram, Prophet Musa, he crosses the seas And on the 9th day of Muharram, Prophet Musa, his du'as were granted on that Mount Tur. Likewise, Prophet Yunus alayhi salam also, he came out from the belly of the fish, it was the 9th. On the 10th, it is the Shahadat of Abu Abdullah. On the 16th, Jerusalem, it becomes the Qibla of the Salat. And then 17th, it is the Azab that descended on the Ashab al-Fil in Mecca. And on the 25th, we have the Shahadat of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, who wept for Abu Abdullah and Husain for 40 years. The Khadim, he says that I was providing food and drink and serving the Imam. And then he was fasting all day and nights in worship. Says that Imam was fasting and it was time for Salat al-Maghrib. I prepared the iftar for the Imam. I brought the iftar and placed it by the Imam. He looked at the water and started crying. He cried so much that his face was drenched in tears. Even the bread, it got soaked in the tears of Imam. And he says that, Yabna Rasulullah, is it not time that you stop crying? You've been crying for Abu Abdullah for the past 40 years. And Imam in reply says that 40 years, Yusuf was one of the sons given to Yaqub out of those 11 sons. One of them went missing. And Yaqub, he cried for him for 40 years, he lost his eyes. And then that son was given back to him. And then you want me not to cry? When in front of my eyes, in less than half a day, everything perished. My family, it perished. All the members of the caravan, they perished. Imam Rida alayhi salam, he says that, Inna yawm al-Husayn, in aqraha jufunana, wa asbala dumu'ana, fa'ala misl al-Husayn falyabki al-baqun. فإن البكاء يحط الذنوب العظام. That indeed this calamity, this musibat of Abu Abdullah and Husain, it wounded our eyelids and shed our tears and made us sad until the day of judgment. And upon the mourners is that they should cry and shed tears, as this crying for Abu Abdullah, it sheds away the major sins. Muharram is the month of sorrow. And at this night also, we talked about the arrival of the caravan yesterday. Among the members of the caravan is Muslim ibn Aqil, the cousin of Abu Abdullah and Husain alayhi salam, the first cousin. Now here, Muslim is the ambassador of Sayyid al-Shuhada. 27 days prior to his Shahada, he writes a letter to Imam Husain saying that, Yabna Rasulullah, Ya Abu Abdullah, come to Kufa. Everyone over here has sworn their allegiance on me and they want you as their Imam. And they have mentioned that this association with Muawiyah, they have nothing to do with him, they want you. And says that as many as 18,000 people, they swore this allegiance upon the hands of a Muslim ibn Aqil. And Imam, he writes a letter to the Imam to come to Rush. And after 27 days, he is killed. Now, whoever is with Abu Abdullah and Husain alayhi salam, he resembles him in some kind of a resemblance. Muslim ibn Aqil also, when he is taken to the rooftop, and there he is about to be killed, beheaded, he is extremely wounded and then bleeding heavily. Says, any wish? Says, is there some water that can be given to me? They bring him a cup of water. He wants to drink from that water and all the blood, it flows and spills in the water. He says, get me another cup. A second cup is given to him. The same blood flows in that water and he couldn't drink that water. A third cup is given to him, the same, and then he says that it seems I have to depart this world thirsty. Just like Abu Abdullah and Husain, who departed this dunya thirsty. And then he was beheaded and thrown down the Darul Imara. Muslim ibn Aqil, he says that I wish I had not written that letter, and says, Ya Abu Abdullah, do not come to this place, as these people, they have no wafa, they have no loyalty in them. Abu Abdullah and Husain, when he comes on this day and reaches Karbala, he says that this is that very place that that all these tests and trials will be seen by us. And then the Maqatil, they say that Abu Abdullah, when he reached Karbala on this day, here the horse, it would not move any further. He swapped the horse of his caravan, of his ride, and put another one, it wouldn't move. Says 7 horses were replaced, none of them moved ahead. There he says that هذا موضع كرب وبلاء. This is the land of afflictions and pain. ها هنا محط رحالنا. This is where we will all disembark. ومسفك دمائنا. This is where our blood, it will be spilled. وهنا محل قبورنا. And this is the place where we will all be buried. بهذا الحديث حدثني جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم, and this is what my grandfather has told me, and this is what will happen. This land of Karbala, it is special, extremely special. Now those of you who've been to Karbala, you see that the moment you arrive at Karbala, everything is different. There is a total change in a person just because of this atmosphere of Karbala. There is so much of pain there. All these masa'ib that the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, they had gone through, and here for the sacrifice that was given by Abu Abdullah and Husain, for that to be accepted in that land of Karbala, the blood of 200 prophets has been spilled. 200 prophets were killed there, so that the land is irrigated and made ready to accept the sacrifice of Abu Abdullah and Husain alayhi salam. Also for this land of Karbala, in Kamilul Ziyarat, there is this hadith, says that on the day of judgment, there will be the shaking, إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا, that there will be a shaking, and then everything will perish, everything will be destroyed. Says that what will not be destroyed is this land of Karbala. It will be dissected from the earth and taken to the heavens. That is that heaven on earth, Karbala. It will be removed from this earth and taken to the skies. And that is why anything, anyone connected and related to Abu Abdullah and Husain alayhi salam, they live, they survive, and they will not be punished, and they will not be burnt in the hellfire because of that connectivity with Abu Abdullah and Husain alayhi salam. Now in this land of Karbala, when Abu Abdullah recites and says that this is the place where we will all have to be killed here, it is our blood that will be spilled, it is this place where the Ahlul Bayt, they will be taken in captivity from town to town. And here Zainab Kubra, she is reminded that Abu Abdullah and Husain on this day when they reached Karbala, how much with an honor and dignity she disembarks from those rides. From one side you have Ali Akbar, on the other you have Qasim, on the other hand you have Abul Fazl and Abbas and Bani Hashim, who helped them disembark from those rides. And then on the day of Ashura, and after the aftermath of Ashura, it is Zainab Kubra who is all alone and who is the caravan leader of the household of Wahir. And now she has to take the charge and task of making everyone embark on those rides. And then when it is her turn, she looks at her right, looks at her left, says, Aina Qasim, Aina Akbar, Aina al-Abbas, where are my brothers? Where are my Muharram? Where are those who used to help me embark on these rides? And now it is Zainab Kubra. When she wants to get on these rides, she is lashed by those mala'in. Ala na'matullah, ala al-qawm al-zalimin, wa saya'lamu alladhina zalamu, ayyamun qalabin yanqalibun. Ilahi bihaqqi al-zahra, wa abiha, wa ba'liha, wa baniha. والسر المستودع فيها. يا الله 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 يا الله. اللهم أحينا حياة محمد وآل محمد، وأمتنا ممات محمد وآل محمد. اللهم ارزقنا في الدنيا زيارة محمد وآل محمد، وفي الآخرة شفاعة محمد وآل محمد، وعجل في فرج محمد وآل محمد. ماتم الحسين. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
حسينا وحسين حسين حسين حسينا وحسين Hussein, for you now, Hussein, Hussein and Hussein. يا حسين ومصاب، يا حسين ومصاب، لجل العين سجابه. يا حسين ومصاب، يا ابن امي ويصبي عيني. يا حسين ومصاب، يا حسين يا البجرك بطرف لساني. يا حسين ومصاب، حاشاك ليل يوم الوعد تنساني. يا حسين ومصاب، عاشاك لليوم الوعد تنساني. يا حسين ومصاب، كل يوم عاشوراء، كل أرض كربلاء. Every day is Ashura, every land is Karbala. Every day is Ashura, every land is Karbala. Now for you please. Every day is Ashura, MashaAllah. Every land is يا حبيبي يا حسين، نور عيني يا حسين. يا حبيبي يا حبيبي يا حسين.